We've made our way to a school in Lok Fu, who are benefiting greatly from sustainable efforts made by the corporate world. After listening to a student's perspective on the enhanced classroom experience, Joyce seems ready to do some more digging to discover what else the school is leveraging through their corporate partners in maximizing their new resources.
It was an amazing chat with Pam and Cosmo. I feel like their efforts really created an impact on the students here, inspiring them to do more and teaching them how to actually be a part of the circular community. Just walking around here, seeing the way the school is set up, and talking to the students, I feel like the school can really inspire other schools in the city. How? Well, let's talk to the educators here and find out more. So, Mr. Kong, as a teacher, how do you feel about this workshop renovation?
So Mr. Kong says the biggest difference after the renovation is seeing the change in the method of learning the students are now experiencing. In the past, teachers would teach and students would just sit in silence. The new layout encourages small group discussions and the sharing of their work afterwards. It's a big change in the learning style.
So apart from the change of learning environment, how do you think using recycled furniture has inspired these students?
Mr. Kong says the key message that they want the students to take away is that they should explore ways to recycle items and see who can benefit from them. This project here made everyone realize that recycled things, like the classroom right here, is beautiful. It has helped them become proactive and engaging in their classroom tasks. He hopes students keep up the idea of upcycling and learn the importance of helping those in need.
So how does this all fit in the circular community that you're building?
Mr. Kong also says that after school, the classroom turns into an elderly learning academy where students teach the elderly about technology. And sometimes on weekends and public holidays, the school opens the classroom up to the public. With students running various IT courses, it's a great opportunity for them to practice their communication skills.
It's incredible to see the domino effect that this has created. Seeing students volunteering their time to keep paying it forward is so inspiring, showing how everyone can indeed make a difference.
Mr. Man, so what was the vision for this school?
As the vice principal of the school, Mr. Man says running a school is about providing the right tools for students to explore their potential, which is also the mission of their school. They always partner with different industries and universities, hoping to offer a different curriculum to the students so they can reach their potential.
So what was the process like? Did you come across any difficulties?
Mr. Man says the most difficult part of this process was finding and convincing people that their school is using resources to help the students. So a lot of the times, they compile and use students' success stories, and at the same time, the students can reflect upon the journey and keep track of their progression. It's known that there's a disparity between what the business sector wants to do and what schools need. So he keeps working on ways to shrink the disparity gap, and meetings and discussions always help. One of the biggest challenges they face is finding a suitable partner that will result in a win-win situation.
So with the school here, what you want to do is offer more than just the traditional subjects. You actually want to offer different curriculums where students can find different ways to let themselves shine.
Mr. Man says a student's growth is aided by various people like teachers, parents, industry professionals, and even universities. But when they've grown, they should give back because a lot of people help them throughout their own journey. When they've achieved something, they should give back to the community in their own ways. That is also why they hope to achieve the objective of creating a circular community in their curriculum and inspire others to do the same.
And that's the importance of circular community, right? And why you want to start from school.
Mr. Man also mentions a lot of their alumnus often go back to visit and ask the school how they can give back to their underclassmen. We hope to nurture empathy in a student's life. They can use their creativity and knowledge to create a product or service that will benefit the community. This is a type of sustainable, circular teaching method that they want to continue at this school.
Making this vision a reality has certainly been a process. It should serve as encouragement to other schools in the city that there are outside resources in the greater community available to improve your curriculum. But most of all, the positive influence it has on students is what makes all the hard work in making this happen worth it.
So, Mr. Wang, can you tell us about the student experience here?
According to Mr. Wong, their students can experience a lot at school. It's not just academics and textbooks. For example, the students can use a simulator to practice flying and driving. He said traditionally, learning is done in classrooms, and that lacks realism. So through the use of simulators, students can work with their teammates to build a car and learn how to modify it to go a certain speed. The process is a great way to give them hands-on experiences to continue their growth. These are things that can't be learned in a classroom setting, which is why we think this is the way of the future here.
So I understand that you do different collaborations. How do these collaborations help enhance the student learning experience?
Mr. Wong says they've taken the students out drifting, though some people might think it's dangerous and they don't understand the point of doing it. In fact, students can learn about friction and steering angles while being in the car. Both of these topics are very helpful in learning about physics. And the school has also taken the students to airlines to learn about catering services and pilot training.
So they get to learn a bit about everything, not just the textbook side, but also the practical side. So Howard, what inspired you to do these various partnership projects?
The main inspiration actually comes from my work, my social enterprise work. In social enterprise, we often talk about the combinations and the synergy between the business sector and the social sector. So in this particular project, I would say, why not both? So that the academic sector, the business sector, and the social sectors can work together for the benefit of the education, for the next generation to understand more about how the resources and the efforts from the community and from the business sector can work together in a project like this. The current challenges of the educator face are mainly their time. They are loaded with lots of academic and administrative responsibilities. So they may not have enough time to outreach to the community. So my job is to help them to connect those interested parties, bring them to the school, and brainstorm ideas together to use this space. I call this space. School is a wonderful space that we can generate this kind of synergy among business sector, academic sector, and the social sectors.
So what are the changes that you made, and what does it mean to you to actually make these changes in your own school?
The major change, I would say, is mindset change. School, supposedly that you will welcome people to come over maybe during the open day, but the mindset change for this school is that we make it like an open schools, so that the elderly sectors in the Wong Tai Sin district can come over for our elderly college. Students can be part of the volunteering efforts, that they can help the elderly being the so-called teaching assistants, so that they can learn from this teaching and learning cycle. And the mindset change bringing to the teachers is that students, teachers, and the community can work together for the betterment of the community.
And what's the message that you want to bring across to students that are actually studying here right now?
I think the key message that I want to spread across is to do good and do well in the education sector. This is the space that they can train their mind, their practices, their attitude towards the community.
So they start from young, and then they can actually be a part of the circular community.
Exactly.
So what would you say is the timeline?
In 5 years' time, I would say that this serves as a model example or like a model school, so that the business sectors and the social sectors can come over and contribute. An example like all these rooms that we are learning artificial intelligence and the IT curriculum here are supported by different universities in Hong Kong. In 10 years' time, I would say this is a sort of long-term plan. We hope more schools will have that embracing arms for the business sector to come to the school more often. Don't think school is always closed with the doors, that you can only visit the school during the open day. Every school should be the open school. And then the resources can be utilized by
And benefit the wider community.
Every stakeholders in the community. Exactly.
From being a student and benefiting from better learning environments, to growing up and being part of business corporations that share resources with education sectors, to reaching the next stage of life and being able to continue learning in the same facilities as elderlies. That's the beauty of a circular community. It allows us to benefit in all stages of our lives. But in order to foster a circular community in our society, It requires more than one person's vision, one company's help, and one group's will. It requires a whole community to help realize this collective vision, to help close all the loops and let all things like in life run a full circle.